Today we're going to be looking at the world of AI.
Sounds good.
More specifically, some big funding news and some product launches.
Yeah, there's some big stuff happening right now.
Really is. I mean, even just this week, we've got a company potentially changing the game for AI safety.
Definitely a lot to talk about.
For sure. First up, we've got Anthropic, an AI company that's really making a name for themselves.
With this focus on reliable and safe AI.
Right. And they just got a ton of money to help them do it.
Yeah, like a lot of money, $450 million in Series C funding.
That's not just like a little boost. That's a serious investment.
Oh yeah, and some huge names are involved too.
Like who?
Well, you've got Google and Salesforce Ventures, even Zoom Ventures jumped in on this.
Wow. So what are they actually doing with all that cash?
Well, their main goal is to scale up their AI assistant.
They have an AI assistant. What's it called?
It's called Claude.
Claude.
It's seriously impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like a chatbot, but way more advanced.
Okay, so like it can actually hold a conversation?
More than that. It can analyze tons of text, like way more than a human could.
So what makes Claude different from other AI assistants out there?
Well, one of the biggest things is their approach to AI safety.
Okay, I'm listening.
They call it constitutional AI.
Constitutional AI? What does that even mean?
So basically, they're trying to build ethical guidelines directly into the system.
So instead of just teaching it to be smart, they're teaching it to be good.
It's kind of like that. They've come up with these principles for Claude to follow things like do no harm, be honest, be helpful, that sort of thing.
And that's all coded directly into Claude.
Exactly. So it's not just about what Claude can do, it's about what it's allowed to do.
But wouldn't that limit what it can do?
It's a balance, for sure. But they're working on some pretty mind-blowing technical stuff, too.
Like what?
Well, one example is they're developing these things called the 100K context windows.
100K context windows. What are those?
Basically, it means Claude can process a huge amount of information all at once, something like 100,000 words.
Wait, 100,000 words? That's like a whole book.
It is. So you could feed it an entire research paper, and it could pull out the key points without you having to read the whole thing.
Okay, that's seriously impressive. So this is all happening right now.
It is. And the potential applications are huge.
So like what, beyond research papers?
Well, think about customer service that can actually understand your problem no matter how complex.
Yeah, that would be a nice change.
Or legal documents being analyzed in seconds.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that would be useful.
This is just the start. We're talking about some seriously powerful technology here.
It sounds pretty futuristic.
Aye.
But is this even accessible to most companies?
That's a great question, and it actually leads us perfectly into our next story, NVIDIA.
NVIDIA, the graphics card company.
That's right. But they're also becoming a major player in the world of AI.
How so?
Well, they just announced something called their AI Foundry.
AI Foundry. What's that?
It's basically a service that lets businesses create and use their own custom AI models.
So instead of using like a one-size-fits-all AI, they can get something tailored to their needs.
Exactly. It's like getting a custom-made suit instead of buying one off the rack.
I like that analogy. So how does it actually work?
Well, NVIDIA starts by providing these pre-trained AI models.
Okay, so that's the foundation.
Right. Then developers can use NVIDIA's NeMo framework to fine-tune those models using their own data.
So they can train the AI to do exactly what they need it to do.
Exactly. And to power all of this, they have DGX Cloud, which provides all the computing power you could need.
So it's like a whole package deal for businesses to build their own AI.
It is.
Yeah.
And some pretty big companies are already using it.
Like who?
Well, SAP, the software company, is using it to build their new AI assistant Joule.
Oh, interesting.
And Amdocs, a telecom software company, is using it to optimize their AI models for their specific industry.
So it's being used for all sorts of things.
Yeah, anything from streamlining business processes to creating super advanced customer service experiences.
It sounds like AI is becoming less of a novelty and more of a necessity for companies.
Absolutely. If you want to stay competitive, you need to be embracing these tools.
This is all really interesting, but I have to ask about the big name everyone's talking about, OpenAI.
Oh, yeah.
They just released GPT-4 Turbo, which is supposed to be like GPT-4, but even better.
It was a pretty big announcement.
So what's all the hype about? Is it really that much better?
Oh, it's definitely a step up. They've made some serious improvements.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest ones is the knowledge cutoff.
What does that mean?
So GPT-4 Turbo's knowledge is up to date as of April 2023.
So it's not stuck in the past anymore.
Exactly. GPT-4's knowledge only went up to September 2021.
Oh, wow. So that's a huge difference.
It is. Nobody wants an AI that's giving you outdated information.
That's true. So what else is new?
Well, they've also made it way cheaper to use.
Okay, that's always good.
GPT-4 Turbo is 3 times cheaper for input tokens and twice as cheap for output tokens.
So what does that mean for people actually using it?
It means it's now affordable for a lot more developers and companies who want to integrate this type of AI into their products.
That's a game changer for sure.
And then there's the expanded context window.
We were talking about this with Anthropic. What's different here?
GPT-4 Turbo's context window is a massive 128,000 tokens.
128,000? That's insane.
It is. That means it can process the equivalent of a small novel all at once.
So it can handle way more information and longer conversations.
Exactly, without losing track of what's going on.
That's amazing. And all of this is happening in ChatGPT, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyone using ChatGPT is now experiencing the power of GPT-4 Turbo.
Wow. So it's not just some theoretical advancement. It's something people are using right now.
It is. And it's already changing the way we interact with AI.
It's incredible to see how fast this technology is evolving. It feels like just yesterday we were blown away by GPT-3.
It really does. And this is just the beginning. These AI models are only going to get more powerful and more accessible.
So what does that mean for the future?
Well, I think we're going to see AI integrated into more and more aspects of our lives.
Okay, so we've talked about Anthropic's big funding, NVIDIA's AI Foundry, and OpenAI's GPT-4 Turbo. Is there a connection between all these stories?
Definitely. I think we're seeing a convergence of trends here.
What?
A push for more powerful AI combined with the focus on making it more accessible and customizable.
So it's not just about making the smartest AI possible, it's about making that AI useful in the real world.
Exactly. And that's what makes these developments so exciting.
They're not just research projects, they're tools that are shaping the future.
And that future is coming fast.
So what are the implications of all this? How is AI going to impact different industries?
Well, that's a question we're going to dive into right after the break. So before the break, we were talking about how AI is becoming more powerful and accessible.
And what that means for different industries, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like we could see huge changes in how we work, how we shop, even how we get treated by doctors.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. One area where we're already seeing a lot of AI is customer service.
Yeah, but those chatbots can be pretty frustrating sometimes.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if those interactions were actually helpful.
Okay, so like what are we talking about here?
Well, imagine a customer service agent that not only understands your problem, but remembers your past interactions and tailors its response to you.
So no more repeating your order number 5 times to different agents.
Exactly. It can mean faster resolution, times happier customers, and even lower costs for businesses.
That sounds like a win-win for everyone.
It does.
Yeah.
And what about healthcare? I think that's another area where AI could have a huge impact.
Yeah, for sure. How so?
Well, think about diagnosing diseases. AI can analyze massive amounts of medical data, way more than a human could ever process.
So it's like having a superpowered medical detective working alongside the doctor.
Exactly. It could help with early disease detection, personalized treatment recommendations, even remote monitoring to catch problems before they become serious.
That could be life-changing, especially for people in rural areas or with chronic illnesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't forget about drug discovery. AI can speed up the process of finding new drugs and therapies.
So we're talking about personalized medicine based on your DNA.
That's right. And platforms like NVIDIA's AI Foundry are making these tools accessible to smaller research teams too, so we can see even more breakthroughs in the near future.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities. What about education? How could AI change the way we learn and teach?
Well, one of the biggest challenges in education is that everyone learns differently.
For sure.
But AI could personalize the learning experience for each student, adapting to their pace and style.
So instead of one-size-fits-all lectures, it's more like having a personal tutor for every student.
Exactly. AI-powered tutoring systems could provide customized feedback and instruction-making learning more engaging and effective.
And AI could help teachers, too, by automating tasks like grading and suggesting personalized lesson plans.
That would free up teachers to focus on what they do best, mentoring students and inspiring them to learn.
It sounds like AI could transform education at every level.
It really could.
Yeah.
And speaking of transformation, let's talk about manufacturing.
Manufacturing. That's not exactly the first industry that comes to mind when I think of AI.
I know, right? But AI is already being used in factories, and these new advancements are going to take it to a whole new level.
So what are we talking about here? Beyond robots on an assembly line.
We'll think about optimizing production processes, predicting equipment failures, even controlling entire factories with minimal human intervention.
So it's like having an AI brain overseeing the whole operation, making sure everything runs smoothly.
Exactly. And we're also seeing smarter and more adaptable robots that can work safely alongside humans.
Those sound a lot more sophisticated than the clunky robots I've seen in movies.
They are. And AI can also be used for quality control. Imagine vision systems that can inspect products with incredible precision, catching tiny defects that a human eye might miss.
That's good for businesses and customers alike.
It is.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about an area where some people might be a little more hesitant about AI, the creative industries.
You mean things like art, music, writing? A lot of people think AI will never be able to truly replace human creativity.
That's a great point. But remember, AI is a tool. It can be used to enhance human creativity, not necessarily replace it.
How would that work?
Well, think about algorithms that can generate music or write poetry. It's not about replacing composers or poets. It's about giving them new tools and inspiration.
So it's like having an AI collaborator bouncing ideas off each other.
Exactly. AI can also help with more technical tasks like video editing or sound mixing, freeing up artists to focus on the creative side.
That's pretty cool. It's like having an AI assistant that takes care of the boring stuff.
And then there's personalized entertainment. AI could recommend movies or music you'll love, or even create stories and games tailored to your tastes.
Wow, talk about customization.
These are just a few examples of how AI is poised to change different industries.
Yeah.
And as the technology keeps evolving, we'll probably see even more applications we haven't even thought of yet.
It's both exciting and a little scary to think about.
It is. I mean, AI has the potential to solve some of our biggest problems.
But there are also some risks we need to be aware of.
Exactly. Like, what happens to human jobs if AI can automate so many tasks?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
And what about the idea of AI becoming too powerful?
These are all important things to consider, and that's what we're going to talk about next.
So we've covered the potential benefits of AI. Now it's time to dive into the challenges and potential downsides of this AI revolution.
Exactly. Let's explore those questions in more depth.
Okay, so we're back, and we've talked about all the exciting things AI can do.
It really feels like we're on the cusp of something big, right?
It does, but we also need to talk about the potential downsides, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, any powerful tool comes with risks.
Exactly, and AI is definitely a powerful tool.
No doubt. And it's still in its early stages, so there's a lot we don't know yet about how it'll impact the world.
That's what makes it both exciting and a little scary.
I agree. So where should we start?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of people is jobs.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mhm.
If AI can automate so many tasks, what happens to all the workers?
That's what I'm wondering. Some people are worried that AI will take over everyone's jobs and we'll all be out of work.
It's a valid concern. But I think it's important to remember that technology has always disrupted the job market.
Yeah, that's true. Think about the Industrial Revolution,
Exactly. New machines were invented that could do the work of many people.
which led to job losses in some areas.
But it also created new industries and new jobs that didn't exist before.
So it's not necessarily a simple equation of AI equals job losses.
Right. I think we'll see a similar pattern with AI,
Some jobs will definitely be automated.
for sure. But new jobs will also emerge, jobs we can't even imagine right now.
So it's more about adapting and preparing for those changes.
Exactly. Instead of fearing AI, we need to figure out how we can work with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what about the idea of AI becoming too powerful?
Yeah, I've seen those movies too where the robots take over.
Exactly. It's a bit unsettling.
I get it. But I think it's important to remember that right now, AI is still a tool that we control.
That's a good point. But how do we make sure it stays that way?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
There are a few key things we need to focus on.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, transparency.
What does that mean in the context of AI?
We need to understand how these AI systems work, how they make decisions, what data they're using.
So no more black boxes where we just trust the AI without knowing what it's doing.
Right. We need to be able to look under the hood, so to speak.
That makes sense. What else?
Well, we also need to establish some clear ethical guidelines for AI development.
Like rules for how AI can and can't be used.
Exactly, like Anthropic's constitutional AI approach.
Where they try to build ethics right into the AI.
Exactly. It's a good starting point.
What else is important?
Well, we also need to make sure that everyone benefits from AI, not just a select few.
That's a good point. It's about making sure AI is used to create a more equitable and just society.
Absolutely. Not just to make a few people rich.
Those are all really important points. It sounds like we need to start having these conversations now before it's too late.
I agree. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That's a big responsibility.
It is, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
To create a better future for everyone.
Exactly. So if you're interested in AI, I encourage you to learn more about it, get involved in the conversation, and help shape the future of this technology.
It's a fascinating topic, and it's something that will impact all of us in the years to come.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
It's been a pleasure. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in and keep exploring.